Hello, hello. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Running to Write, where I give questionable writing advice through running metaphors. Today will be less about direct writing advice and more of a critical look at television shows where reality broke for an episode, a season, or the entire series. This will be a 5 and 5 list including 5 bad examples of when television shows went to alternate realities, as well as 5 great instances when these usually one-off episodes left a lasting impression. This list will be a combination of individual episodes, seasons, and entire series runs, as well as general comments on certain genres. Spoilers ahead for Wandavision, Lost, Futurama, and a couple other not-so-recent properties. By mile 18 of the marathon, your mind will have sunk deep within itself to be anywhere other than in the race. Your thoughts may be fracturing, your body lying to you about how much your legs are hurting as you push through. You may be daydreaming about the finish line of all the training up to this point, or of a world where you never entered this race. Here are 5 examples of when reality fractured that I wish I hadn't watched. Number 1. It was all a dream. When writing stories, ensure that each scene has stakes. The fastest way to get me to lose interest in the plot or characters is to include dream sequences full of wish fulfillment that never get realized by the characters. These feel like a cheap ploy for readers and viewers to ship characters together without actually doing it. And in almost every case, I don't like their use. Long-running shows, particularly those in the superhero genre, have that one episode where the hero wakes up and realizes that everything we watched up to this point has all been a bad dream. In the worst case, the hero will wake up in a mental hospital where all kinds of bad tropes play out. When marathoning the series, as there are no stakes in the episode, these are the ones you can forget and skip. Buffy did it, Farscape did it, and the animated Justice League from the early 2000s, they did it too. That last example is intentionally a counterpoint to this generalization. In the episode For the Man Who Has Everything, Superman was happy living in a dream world in which Krypton never exploded and he was never sent to Earth. Sure, there were no lasting impacts from this episode, yet my cold running heart felt emotional tugs watching Kal-El willingly sacrifice his fake happiness to wake up and return to the real world. Number 2. The final season of Lost. Across the series, Lost juggled numerous plot threads and opened way too many mystery boxes. Instead of giving a satisfying conclusion or justification for the major questions raised, the final season amounted to an alternate reality look at the characters living through contradictory scenarios. Needless to say, I was disappointed and left hungry after the meager appetizer of watching how the characters could have lived. Number 3. Farscape, Unrealized Reality. On an already off-the-wall series, this episode stood out as insane. Farscape is one wild ride, to say the least. There's a lot of BDSM-attired actors alongside Jim Henson-designed puppets on an interstellar adventure. And yeah, that sentence is really weird to string together. Overall, I'm a fan of the series that pays heavy homage to Star Trek, Star Wars, and every pop culture reference from the past 100 years that get baked into each episode. But wow, are there some odd episodes in that mix. The series spent multiple episodes inside the main character's head as he does battle with a copy of his nemesis trapped in his brain. Another special mention of oddball episodes is the video game theme one, which can be best described as zany. The episode I want to talk about here, Unrealized Realities, was a quick tour of various crew compositions in which genders and species switched through the kaleidoscope of alternate realities we passed through. Watching the actors stretch their talents to take on the mannerisms of the other crewmates was intriguing and worth admiring. Though when the episode ended, I could only respond out loud with, huh? The importance of the episode wasn't realized until a season later, and at no point within it did I recognize or understand what was happening or why. Number 4. Musicals. To break up the monotonous formulaic nature of monsters or problems of the week, spice in the form of the musical get added to an otherwise dry season. There's a big asterisk here for this category, in that I only don't like the reality-breaking musical episodes when the actors can't carry a tune. Scrubs pulled this off well by creating new songs specifically for the episode, filled with heart and humor. Glee was another success story, acting as a launching point for many, many talented people, spreading them across movies and the Berlantiverse. Though for every success, there are dozens of shows that do off-key renditions of classics to aim and miss for those nostalgia targets. When this happens, I writhe and cringe in my couch cushions, safe in the knowledge the episode will be over soon. Number 5, It's a Wonderful Life. While I enjoy the classic movie itself, this category is based around the themes and scenarios it established. These types of episodes delve into questions of what if, by showcasing a world where the main character never existed or prematurely died. As a result of this one change, the secondary characters are worse off. The world is such a complex place, and I find it exceptionally egotistical to think that one person's non-existence could have such a widespread impact across so many people's lives, such that every secondary character is jobless, homeless, or worse. Now for 5 good broken realities, and for any fans of the MCU in 2021, this should come as no surprise. Number 1, Wandavision. Having finally finished Wandavision, yeah, I know, I'm late to the party. Anyways, I was fascinated by how well the world Wanda created held up. So much so that I started scripting this episode after finishing that season and likely series finale. Watching the townspeople evolve with each decade of sitcom kept me coming back, even when the initial story was kind of lacking. The first 2 episodes established the sitcom feel without moving the story forward. However, my earned faith in the MCU and the sheer charisma of the performers were more than entertaining enough to continue watching. I would argue that picking up the series in episode 3 would have little impact in the overall viewing, though watching those first 2 episodes did make the finale hit much harder. Number 2, genre breaks. Whether the episodes are filmed as a noir crime drama or in space, the characters are thrown in entirely new situations, breaking the mold established by the series. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did their noir episode while they were traveling through time, so it felt like a period piece. The over-the-top series Las Vegas also did their own noir with, I think, no justification whatsoever. Were these episodes odd? Yeah. Were they also entertaining? Absolutely. Number 3, The Truman Show. Watching Jim Carrey as Truman come to the realization that every moment in his life was manufactured was an introspective, sad, and humanizing look into what makes life worth living. It did include some laughs, but there was always a dark edge to the humor. Number 4, Reversal. On a lighter note, I like when there's a twist to the broken reality, bending our expectations. In the Futurama episode The Sting, we initially believe Fry's been killed due to Leela's headstrong decision to extract honey from giant bees. The episode devolves into Leela's madness and insanity as we slowly come to the realization that she was the one asleep all along. Fry was perfectly fine as the giant stinger went completely through him and delivered its venom into Leela. Unlike normal it was all a dream scenarios, this had a sentimental moment between Fry and Leela, showing each as the other's guiding force. The episode also hinted at their future romantic potential while maintaining its comedy. And lastly but no less relevant, Number 5, Mirror Universes. Up is down, right is wrong, and Spock has a goatee. I approve of this logical reimagining of the characters. These are best handled when there's no justification, short of everything is opposite, backwards, or evil. Those are my 5 and 5 for stories I disliked, and those I thought were thought-provoking when reality caved in around the heroes. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in another episode of Writing to Write. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite alternate reality world is. And if you were to create a splinter world from our own, how would it be different? If you enjoyed this content, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Join the Writing to Write community on Facebook, Twitter, and all social media to share your thoughts. See you next time. Until then, consider how one tiny change in your story can send ripples cascading into alternate realities until they no longer resemble anything familiar.